Boom, we are live. Hello.
Hi.
Hey friends. Super excited about today's episode. It is the 90th episode of CityClips Live, and we are focused on highlighting entrepreneurs, founders, organizations in North Florida, business and tech. So really excited to talk about the topics we're going to cover today with expert AI innovator and business entrepreneur Jabaree Allen. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So before we dive in, we'll do a quick intro. And of course, you're going to tell us more about things that maybe most people don't know. So going to touch on your personal and your background and also why you founded Phusion AI and what's coming next. So really excited. So Jabaree Allen is an award-winning AI innovator and entrepreneur from Tallahassee. He holds degrees in business and entrepreneurship from FSU and multiple certifications in AI from IBM, Stanford, Google, and Vanderbilt, and more recently, NVIDIA. Awesome. Can't wait to hear about that. And as a visionary in the field of AI, he combines deep technical insight with entrepreneurial expertise. Through his company, Phusion AI, he aims to empower small businesses by providing practical and easy to deploy AI tools while prioritizing ethics, data-driven strategies, and human-centered innovation. So awesome. So do you want to touch on what brought you to Tallahassee? Did you grow up in Tallahassee? Like, tell me a little bit more about your background.
So again, thank you so much, Julia, for having me today. Super excited to talk to everybody. Yes, I actually grew up in a small town right outside of Tallahassee. So if you go to the capital and you drive for 50 minutes, you will end up in the heart of my hometown. It's called Perry, Florida, and we are the pine tree capital of the South. Grew up there. We're a small town, so always did shopping in Tallahassee and coming to the mall and all those things. So yeah, I come from a very small beginnings, and then I came up to actually what is now TSC, but TCC, and started there and left and went to Florida State and got degrees from Florida State. And in particular, one of the things that I'm really proud of is the JMI Global Institute of Entrepreneurship, which is where I learned so much and met so many great people. And shout out to Marina Lixon over at the JMI. They're doing amazing things. But yeah, so there and left and went in corporate America, got a job, worked, and I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I actually started a business while I was at JMI, which was my first business, which I sold to a staffing agency. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds of that, but that was my first real shot at entrepreneurship. It was a company called Sell Yourself, where I taught my counterparts in class how to build resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and then I was doing like a 1 hour teach you how to sell yourself session. Focus on your strengths, don't worry about your weaknesses, kind of thing to companies. Because I graduated college in May, and I was working in my field as a in the tech world for a software company in June. So it didn't even take 30 days for me to, and that was by, a lot of great people, my mentor, Dr. Jim Dever, and many of us know Mr. Steve Evans played an integral part of me moving past college, but we're working in the process automation field, which was AI before AI kind of. And that is where I got my first taste of using software to automate processes. And left there, started my first startup, my second startup, Business Automation Pros, which a lot of you and I met under while I was really out doing the Business Automation Pros thing, and specialized in healthcare process automation. Really done a lot of different industries, but healthcare was definitely our best, greatest impact. And now here we are at Phusion AI. So, and this is the most exciting thing that I've ever done, because it has the most impact. Everybody that we know will be impacted or is currently being impacted by artificial intelligence. And so grab the bull by the horns, and here we are. I think we started in November. We're 8 months later. And a lot of things have happened, changes have came. So it's been exciting.
It's awesome. I mean, and some people might think like, oh, they will hit their success at the first business, but really, and I'm sure you have at a certain level, you needed to get to where you are today, right? With
Yep.
the after those first two businesses. So um I wanted to learn more too, because there is still a need for those services that you did for business automation pros, right? But what made you just, I mean, obviously AI is big right now, on demand kind of thing. What made you decide, okay, I need to put the brakes on this and just go all in for Fusion AI?
And the truth of it is that was the really hard decision. And let me give a disclaimer. I'm what people call a serial entrepreneur. So I've done a lot. I've had my hands in a lot of things. I actually also own a cosmetic brand in which I have products in about 6 Walmarts and 4 Targets, and then really selling online. Um, and then I've had businesses that failed. Like I probably had 4 businesses that failed, and I would say 3 that were successful. So the ratio, I try things, right. You only miss the shots that you don't take, and I really go by that. So if what I will say is Fusion AI is the first time that I've been able to sit still and work on one thing ever in my life. So, in the decision was, do I add more to the tech stack of business automation pros, where we started off, in one space, and then we kind of grew and changed, and then we found our niche, which is the process automation space. And that we stuck with that. And I still have clients under business automation pros. It's just being ran by the team, and we're not really like, I'm not promoting or doing, any of that stuff right now. We're just kind of letting things smooth out. Do I love it? I own the color Business Automation Pros blue. So if that tells you, I own the trademark for Business Automation Pros, and I created a color. I am definitely in love with that brand and what we've been able to do. But I had a vision. God gave me a vision for Fusion AI, and understanding that this is something that is literally going to impact everybody, right? And I learned while running Business Automation Pros that people were already scared of technology. I can simplify our business in about 60 seconds. Everybody on this call can relate. When you go to the doctor, they tell you show up 15 minutes early for one common reason: to fill out the paperwork. What we did was take that paperwork, that initial engagement with a medical professional, whoever that may be, whether that's an optometrist or a chiropractor or OBGY, whatever, you have to do a patient intake. And so we took that patient intake and digitized it, made it an electronic document that is housed on their website. So become a new patient's a button. You go on and you fill out that paperwork, take a picture of your driver's license and a picture of your insurance card, and attach it to the form and submit it. And once that's submitted, the people at the doctor's office gets it. Hey, Julia Holly's, has an appointment coming up. Here's her patient intake. They verify your insurance, and all of that additional information is then being used to create your medical folder, and whatever information they collected, whether that's a survey or how you feel. All the things were encompassed in that process. That's the business model. And that goes for anything that you have to fill out a physical piece of paper for. I have automated some of the most complicated processes that you could even imagine. And while doing that, being the nerd that I am, I got an email. I'm on all these nerd newsletters, and I got an email one day that said, hey, you want to be on a beta team with this cool software? That's an AI thing. That's before ChatGPT became ChatGPT. And I'm signing up like, hey, yeah, sure. I want to do this. All I do is play. I can't tell everybody. Here's a perk private. Play Call of Duty, play with these kids, and read tech stuff and do, tech. And so I signed up, and once I was on a webinar with the release of Chat GPT. I think around like 2.6 or 3. It was, and I watched this guy prompt this large language model or Chat GPT and have it write him an ebook, a 50-page ebook in 60 seconds. I literally was like, okay, things are not going to be the same anymore. And I prayed about it, and God gave me the vision for Fusion AI. and took me through a whole lot. So you mentioned the certifications. A lot of people ask me all the time about, how did you do, like, and when most people look at my LinkedIn, they see those certifications happened in a very short amount of time. And, some people are like, oh, this can't be real. And then they go and try it and they're like, no, this is real. In the process of this kind of transition from business automation pros to Phusion AI, I was kind of praying and meditating, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be the AI guy. And I wanted to do things my way. And I'm in the gym probably 4 times a week at this time, throwing weights, lifting 5 o'clock in the morning, doing 2 a days in the afternoon when I pick the kids up from school, going running or whatever. No problems. I get out here coaching Little League, Pee Wee baseball for my son's baseball team, and I'm not even doing anything athletic, and I rupture my Achilles. The worst pain I've ever felt. I
remember seeing you rolling around.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, at conferences, remember, I couldn't stop the business, right? So I was rolling around, and I think the first time I met my good friend Eddie from Ruvos, I was rolling around, and I'll never forget that I won an award actually for.
It was one of the I think, was it a CDC?
Yep. It was at a conference, and so I'm saying that to say, like the story. I was mad at God, so I was like, "Listen, why would you let this happen right now?" And then I went into again a place of transparency, a slight state of depression, where I'm like, just sitting still and just not happy, and all the things. And then I woke up one day and I was like, okay, God kind of talked to me and said, I needed you to be still. And I was like, okay, I can go for that, right? This kind of makes sense. And he gave me a vision for these certifications, and I started taking them. And 9 months, probably 10 months, I did about 13 years worth of coursework. I got about 12 certifications or 13 certifications now that I got NVIDIA, and just locked in and just really immersed myself. And I was already into these things, right? I was already on the beta team. I was already into process automation. But what this taught me is, again, AI is just software. People ask, what is it? It's a software that is used traditionally to automate things. And then they moved into a predicting things, right? It can read patterns and now we're in the space of what most are calling generative or agentic AI, where this thing can not only automate processes, but it can take in information. It can take information and then produce information. It generates new things. It makes decisions based off of rational and so we are in a space now where this thing has moved so fast. I'll never forget when I first started Phusion AI, we were focused on building like chatbots that we install on people's websites, and then they engage with them. And we actually own a platform that we are going to allow businesses to build chatbots. Go ahead. You're about to come off. I apologize. I can talk about stuff.
No, don't stop. I was going to share the website, and I know you're probably going to like update it. You said, I just want to make sure people saw this,
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we started off this chatbot that you see right here in the right-hand side is actually,
this lower right hand.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yep. Is actually, and it should have been, Ava should have been on there too. I don't know why she's not showing up, but I can deal with that later.
No one else knows, but it looks great.
Yeah. And so we started off doing chatbots like you see in the right-hand side. And now we actually have a platform where you can go to like app.phusionai.com, and we allow businesses to build out chatbots, and we want to help start a team of powerful entrepreneurs that can build chatbots in a space. And that is a great business model. There's just like there's so many businesses that still use paper, there's so many businesses that are still not even at the chatbot stage. And that's in the small and medium, whether we're talking about lawn service companies, plumbing companies, electrician companies, service-based businesses, doctors' offices, all of these people have not gotten to the place where they build and, they have chatbots that engage with their customers. It's great business.
That's
But
great.
now we've transformed into more of where we are building voice agents that have conversations, because the number one form of communication between humans is verbal, right? We talk more, if that's the first way. Then we use other sensory items like our eyes and smell and hear, but verbal communication is huge. And so we built some amazing agents, and some of the projects that we have going on now are just, I surprise myself every day, and I'm really proud of the team we've put together at Phusion AI, because these guys are working hard, texting me at 5 a.m. I'm texting them at 4 a.m. Like, it has been, it is crazy right now.
I have so many questions, but I really like how you're, being thorough in your answers, because I think it's very nice to see the whole context and hear about it, right? So would you say, I guess from a business development standpoint, for businesses, I mean, it makes sense. Most business owners probably don't even want to take the time to learn how to do this. Like, there's opportunities for businesses who provide services like yourself to either build a solution or use tools that are also already doing that. And it looks like you're providing those solutions. Phusion AI is providing those solutions.
Yeah, it is. And so there's a space for, again, we are in, I like to reference this. We are in a time that the world has never saw before, where it's bigger than the Industrial Revolution. It's bigger than the dot-com boom. One of the guys who I read a lot, his name is John Hope Bryant. Hopefully, Mr. Bryant, if you see this, you are one of the, I don't have idols, but you are definitely one of the people that I look up to. And he owns, I think the most single family homes in the United States. If I'm not, he's created crazy generational wealth. But he compares the artificial intelligence boom to being bigger than the invention of the automobile. And when I heard him say that, I'm like, that was pretty big, but was that the biggest thing? And then he used a reference to talk about how it used to take for us, think about this, 4 days to travel from Jacksonville to Pensacola before the invention of a vehicle. Like, 4 days. Could you imagine it taking you 4 days right now to travel somewhere that takes what, 4 or 5 hours at the most? Literally 4 days. That is a lot of time. So how big something has to be to have an impact that's bigger than that is pretty big. And the thing about it is, none of us get a chance to go away from it. When I started those certifications, and when I started on this journey for Phusion AI, I was not in a bad place financially. Like, I wouldn't consider myself rich, but I wasn't bad off. I wasn't like, I could do something to make. But what I realized is, even I was not safe. I'm not safe. I am not in a place where, if I don't do something about this, there can't be, this is going to impact everyone. And so for me, I'm a compassionate person. I love people. That's probably why my communication skills are the way that they are. I realize that a lot of people that don't get technology, that don't understand this, will catch on too late. Or if, and then again, I went through this whole thing where God ordained me to be the person that helps small businesses, that helps the people, that our community, right, understand the impact of what is going on. And there are 3 ways you look at it. From a student, life-changing, right? The tools that you use in the future are going to be AI powered. From an employee, us who have jobs where we get paid, at some point, companies are going to start saying, hey, if you don't know about artificial intelligence, you got to go. And you would be a lot better off if you could jump the gun and say, hey, look, I know you heard about AI. This is what people in our industry are doing. These are the types of tools they're using. That way, when everybody gets their pink slips, you won't be the one. You'll actually be leading. And I have people that have been influenced by me, that took the bull by the horns, and now they're saying, hey, look, you know what? I took your advice, and they write me LinkedIn messages a lot. And now they're putting me on the AI strategy team for our company, right? Or if you're an employer or an entrepreneur, this is more exciting because you can implement and scale from a small business perspective and compete with the biggest of the biggest. Or you can ignore this and then your competition, like my friend Mr. Wonderful says, will squash you like a bug. And that's the reality that we live in. And so I literally was like, you know what? I'm focused all in on this. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to do anything. I couldn't anyways, except for when you saw me rolling. I'm going to get these certifications and I'm going to figure it out. And here we are at Phusion AI, where we are building and teaching and just exciting times are, from the top down, right? The government, the White House just announced $70 billion going into the AI space, and a lot of it is for businesses and for education. The largest real estate construction project in the history of the United States, $500 billion, is going to Project Stargate, which is a data center, which I could talk for 2 hours about that. It's just an opportunity where if you are willing to not be afraid of what you can't change or can't avoid and willing to give it a chance. Of course, there are lots and lots, and again, this is something I could talk about, of reasons to worry, right? But it's a reason to worry about getting out in your car and somebody smacking into you, or you smacking into somebody, or your tire blow. That's the world that we live in. But we cannot afford to not engage. And if you watch all of your favorite companies, all of your favorite people, TV, Hollywood, social media, whatever, they are taking this bull by the horns, and we have to do it. So I know you have tons of questions. Again, I am super passionate about this, so it's hard.
No, this is great.
Say one or two words and stop.
No. I this is great because I feel like we do need to emphasize this message, and you're one of the local leaders really taking initiative, not just talking about it, but really building and teaching and educating the community. So I really appreciate that. And so people need to hear this more often, that we need to learn how to use this. It's not, I guess our generation, I could say, when we graduated from college, we needed to know certain tools. Like for a designer, you needed to know Adobe products. If you're a developer, you know certain languages. But now this is impacting everybody. So if you need to use a computer to get something done, you need to know how AI works.
A phone, not even
yes, phone too. Yeah, exactly. So everything, it does impact so many jobs. We know some big tech companies are already laying off people because it's related to AI, data analysis, education, healthcare, all of those industries are being impacted. And I can't believe it's already almost 12:30, but which means, because I know you have to hop off at some point, but we could have a part 2.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to need a part 2, because I have a lot that I want to share with your audience, and hopefully people are tuned in and they are taking some value away from this. I want to touch on 2 things that you just mentioned. Yes, it's impacting every industry right now. Where we are is we are in the space between tier 1 and tier 2. And when I say tier 1, I mean the largest companies in the world and the government, right? We are seeing massive government layoffs. And it isn't just because of the economy or all of that. It is because the level of automation that is going on is allowing every business, if you're a business owner, you want to become more efficient. You want to have a higher output with less of an input. That's the goal. Right? The government is doing that. And then you see those large tier 1 companies, the Cisco's, the Samsungs, the Pepsi's, if you go to the most valuable companies in the world, those people that are up at the top, right? The top 100 businesses, right? You're seeing them fire or lay off people by the thousands, 20,000, 30,000, because they can replace jobs with people that are using tools. Artificial intelligence itself does not replace people at this point. People using artificial intelligence is what is for every one person using the right AI tool, can replace 50 to 75 of its counterparts. So that's kind of the ratio. At Phusion AI, we believe that artificial intelligence, and it's a fact, is built by people for people. It's just like a tool. It's like a car. And at Phusion AI, imagine us being a handyman. The company is a handyman, and we have a tool belt of AI powered tools that we use to help businesses. That's kind of a good way to look at it. We have a tech stack that we find out, and the goal is for us to build solutions around industries, and then just scale that, where we know every roofing company needs this. We know every plumbing company needs that. Every doctor's office has these problems, and they can just kind of plug and play. But the second thing I want to touch on is 3 days ago, it was announced that Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram and a bunch of other things, offered one employee, an artificial intelligence data analyst, $1.25 billion over a 4-year contract. So that is one employee making about $335 million a year for a job. Your favorite basketball player, your favorite soccer player, your favorite baseball player, and your favorite actor combined does not typically make $335 million a year on a salary position. That is how important this is. And he turned it down. He said no. So
is this a different person from Scale AI? Because I think they were trying to acquire an AI company and the founder.
no,
Or is this
is not. Okay. This is not from Scale AI. This is another founder who I don't think he's a co-founder of a company, but he played the data analyst part of building out the agentic AI. So but just these types of salary positions, right? These types of things. And as much as I love the Florida State University and the Jabaree Institute, and I'm not going against that, the priority of entire countries like Singapore and some of the countries that are competing to be the top, they are stopping everything and implementing artificial intelligence as a curriculum because of the impact that it that is having. So, and here at Phusion AI, the number one question I get asked, whether that is during speaking engagements or conferences or in the grocery store or at church or on things like this where I'm speaking and doing podcasts, is where do I start? And for a long time, Julie, my answer was start where I started, right? Go do a prompt engineering certification on Vanderbilt. It's online. You can sign up there and just take a certification. It's not that technical. But what I realize is me saying something isn't that technical is a place of bias. And I've had people come back and say, hey, look, yeah, I've really, I've tried it. And some people succeed and some people like, listen, that was really hard. But it taught me something with this most recent NVIDIA certification, to shout out to NVIDIA being the most valuable company in the world at $4 trillion valuation. I got a certification from them about 10 days ago. And I took that test about 12 times and I failed it 12 times. On the 13th time, I actually passed it with a 98, must I say. But I realized that what I think is not technical for me is really, it's not fair. It's biased. And so for the first time, I'm announcing the Phusion AI Academy, where we are going to help everyday people, entrepreneurs, business people who are kind of scared of artificial intelligence or don't really have to grasp the concept of what it is and where to start. We're going to start there with introduction to AI from the Phusion AI Academy. And I'm super excited. And I'm also partnering, and hopefully Eddie is here, with Ruvos, that we're going to launch a Phusion AI executive bootcamp through the Phusion AI Academy. I'm going to partner. It's going to take place at Ruvos, which is a tech company here in town. And that is going to be kind of a higher level for executives who want to come up with a strategy to implement into their business and what that looks like and the things to consider and some of the tools and all the things. But the Phusion AI Academy at its regular is just going to be a basic course that we're going to launch online. That's going to come with a certificate. It's also going to entail a resume update. So whenever you finish and get your certificate, this is the language you can use to update your resume, a LinkedIn post. So you don't have to do any of that work. There's going to be some guides, some prompting guides that you can use, but it's really exciting. And that on top of working with some, the chamber, actually getting to speak at the chamber conference that is coming up in a few weeks. Shout out to the Tallahassee Chamber. Shout out to TSC. Dr. Long and Dr. Murdoch are doing amazing work, and not just for Tallahassee, but for our region, and the things that they're pulling together is just absolutely amazing. So a lot of great things coming right now, Julia, and I know we are past time, so I can stop talking and we can plan part 2, I promise.
No, it's okay. I totally get it. You're busy. So happy for you. And it really came down to several things that stood out to me during this conversation. Is you started focusing, and like you said, for the first time in a long time, you were able to focus on this one thing. And that's what a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, really, especially in their first phase of entrepreneurship. And so I think it's amazing that, like you said, in your faith and your conversations with God, is that it really helped you. That incident turned out to be a blessing in disguise. And you were able to get all those certifications and then now focus on growing this huge opportunity of a business, Phusion AI. And so excited that because I'm sure everyone's asking, can you just show me how to do it? So I'm glad you're already teaching youth. I saw that you've been in middle school and high school settings and teaching folks in workshops, business. Yeah, right. There's a huge need because, like we saw in the Innovation Summit at TSC, there's other countries that are ahead of us. We are behind. US is behind. Yeah. So, which explains why there's so much federal funding going this way. So anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about this. And we didn't even talk about how you have so many kids around your house.
Yeah, so I was literally I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. I was one of my friends was over and he was looking at the pictures like, it's like all these kids not yours. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then there's another picture. I literally have at least 6 pictures around my house, and none of them just have my kids, because I've always wanted, and I'm the kid guy. Like literally at any given time, there's 8 kids running around my house, cousins, nephews, nieces, my kids, neighborhood. Like and that's it gives me a sense of peace to have that. Like when we go to spring break, I usually every year take and rent a mansion down in Orlando, literally stuffed to the T with children wanting to come with me. And so I love kids. I do, and that's a whole nother story of wanting to make sure that every child is, loved for and nurtured for, poured into. Okay, I gotta put this in there now that you said it. A lot of people don't know this, but my 7-year-old daughter, who is trained, she goes to Conley Elementary. She's trained on artificial intelligence. She sits and watches a lot of these things. If she was here, she would probably be right there recording me like, "Ooh, look at my dad is on Safari." But she has written and published a book called, and if we can put it in the chat, it's called Zoe Loves to Dance, and it's published on Amazon. And we used artificial intelligence to prompt. And I mean, when I say we, she did a lot of it. She asked questions like, "Daddy, how do I get it to do this?" But she prompted AI to publish, to write, and to illustrate the book. And then we published it on Amazon, and she's made quite a bit of. I was pretty impressed. But that is something. That's part 2. Is that we are going to publish a course on how to write a book with your kids. So
you're going to change the world.
My chief product officer is saying part 2. So we got to come back, Julia. The people.
I know. Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it. I know you're slammed. Glad you got to put in a plug Phusion Academy. So we can talk about that too, because seriously, when is the next event you're going to host? I'll sign my kids up like right away, count them in.
You will see a lot about the Phusion AI Academy coming up. The goal is to get it prepared to launch in August, early August. And that's going to be like kind of a thing where our kids are going back to school. I kind of get to focus on my next thing. What am I doing? Oh, I signed up for the Phusion AI Academy. And we'll come up with a discount code, CityClips, so that you can broadcast it to your people.
Thank you.
But yeah, let's plan to catch up another time, and I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to continuing to collaborate.
Awesome. I know you got to go, so I will go ahead and pull you down. Thank you so much, Jabaree. I will go ahead and just close it out. Jabaree, anytime we will figure out part 2. Thank you guys for watching, and for those of you who catch this episode, if you have any questions for Jabaree, please reach out to me, and I'll connect y'all. He's such a great guy, as you can tell, and I'm sure we will need to have several parts, not just part 2. So anyways, if you guys want to be featured on the show, reach out to me at cityclips.net. Subscribe for free. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.